Hi, my name is Patrick, and this is to give you a review of day one slot one paper, the March 9th morning slot paper. What were the type of questions that came, how you should plan your paper, etc. So 200 marks paper, it was slot wise. I mean, each all the questions of one type were together. So all abstract reasoning were together, all logical reasoning were together. So it started with all logical reasoning 75 questions, then abstract reasoning 25 questions, then the verbal and the quant, which was there, 50 questions. Now, each of them was sort of easy to moderate. I mean, for example, if I look at abstract reasoning, there were a lot of easy questions which are there, but a few questions which was time consuming. You should leave those questions and then solve the easy ones first and finish the questions. Okay, that's the logical reasoning. 75 questions, logic, there were a lot of easy questions and a few speed breakers. You need to avoid the speed breakers and try to solve the easy questions. So I would rather solve the logical reasoning and verbal question section first because they were not time consuming. You could solve easily very fast. In verbal, except for the 10 questions of RC, which was time consuming, others could have been solved fast. I'm not saying they were easy, but you could solve fast. Synonym and antonym would not take time. You can solve it quickly and move ahead. So it doesn't take time. So you should finish this question as fast as possible so that you have it in your bag and then try to focus on the remaining. Okay, so solve the easy ones, leave out the ones which are more time consuming. There were no verbal reasoning questions and logical reasoning. So automatically, normally there should be around 12, 13 questions of verbal reasoning, but it was not there this year, which was where the accuracy goes down. So in this case, I believe the accuracy will be high as far as logical reasoning goes. Easy puzzles, easy questions could have been easily cracked as such. So people who are strong in logic, definite advantage. Abstract reasoning was, I'm not saying difficult, they were easy as lot, but they have time consuming questions. So I would put it later on. After solving logical and verbal, then I would solve abstract reasoning. I mean, they were easier questions. I would solve all the easy questions as first, but there were also some speed breakers which I would leave it. And in the end, I would come to Con DI. I'm not saying Con DI was tough, but if you're not really comfortable with Con DI, you take time to solve because anyway people are not comfortable with quant. There were obviously sitter questions. We'll come to see what type of questions came in, and you could solve it easy questions. But people who are not very comfortable with calculation would take some time in calculation. It takes time, so it will be the last section. So this is the order of section how you should go. Technically, finish all the easy questions first from all the sections, and when you have time, you could come up to the more time-consuming questions. Focus on questions that takes less time. Now coming to logical reasoning, there are 15 questions and puzzles, 3 sets of 5 questions each. Arrangement, relationships, these are 3. Blood relations, like father, mother, whatever. Arrangement, the arrangement I have given out here. So 6 people were visited by a salesman, MNP, 6 companies, 6 busy people which were there. And there are only 3 instructions given. Must visit M before N and R, must visit N before Q, and third to visit is P. Only 3 instructions, quite short. You need to find and then look at the questions and solve which could be the order of visit. If S is first, then who is second? I mean, these are type of questions that given. So very simple questions, not very difficult. I thought you could easily solve this 5 questions. Blood relations also is not difficult. 2 rows also is not difficult. All could have been easily solved fast, and you can easily get the answers for these. 15 questions were sitters. If you're good in logic, you would solve it no other time. Even Venn diagram, they had given the whole Venn diagram. 500 students, and they had given all the data of people who scored distinction in maths, physics, chemistry. All numbers were given to you, and you have to just calculate. For example, percentage of students who got distinction in maths. So number who got distinction in maths divided by 500 into 100, you get a percentage. So all data is given to you. 3 questions on percentage of students who got distinction, and not very difficult to calculate. So technically very easy. Please part. They're group questions. There are only 18 group questions which was there. Remaining all logical reasoning questions were individual questions. So 5 questions blood relation. They were not. They were all scattered in the whole paper. I mean, 5 questions blood relation, 3 words given, and to find a Venn diagram. For example, you are given men, rodents, living beings, and there were different Venn diagrams given. You have to find which is the answer. For example, men and rodents can't be together, but they both are living beings. So something would be the answer. And there were other diagrams given as such. You have to pick up which is the right diagram, Venn diagram. So again, easy. There are 5 questions. Please practice before you go for the examination, but you need to solve this fast. Next 5 questions are simple. When you're given 5 words, you have to put in alphabetical order and either find a middle word or the last word, etc. Again, 5 questions on directions were simple. Syllogism also were simple questions. There were 2 directions, 2 statements, and 2 conclusions given. So not very difficult. Could have been solved quickly. It's not very complicated also. Okay. This was complicated. Number question diagram. There were some patterns given like numbers. You have to find out like that. Okay. Pattern numbers given. and you have to find out the answer for it. For example, one of these sets, there were number given here, number given here, number given, number given, number given a center. There are three patterns given. For the middle one, there was a question mark. It was actually multiplication of these two, and then addition of that will give you the center number. It cracks immediately fine. If it doesn't crack, it becomes difficult. So be careful with it. Okay. There were some difficult ones also in this. For example, if I look at it, there was like this. If I look at it, there was 1, 2, 3, 4 mentioned out here, and you were given 5, 8, 13, and you have a question mark out here. The option was something like 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, something like that. So takes time to get it, takes time to calculate. That's how the problem is. Otherwise, it was okay. Okay, the one with which such numbers I said, the answer was 7. It was 5 is here, 9 is here, 6 is here, and you had question mark. You have to multiply 9 6 are 54. You have to multiply 7 5 are 35, and add it up. You get 89. 89 was the answer. Just I mean. Then the letter series, like the CCBB, 2 questions like this series, letter series. Again, this if you're comfortable, you could solve easily. If you're not, it would take time. Coding was simple. 4 questions on coding were comparatively simple. +1, -1, simple codings. Reverse coding was there. One on normal coding was there. So simple coding comes. I don't see a problem in the coding sum. If you're comfortable, if you're doing enough questions on coding, then this becomes simple. So all depends on how much you practice. If you practice enough, then the logic section becomes extremely simple. If you're not practiced, then it becomes a problem. Odd one out numbers. So you have numbers given, series. So which one is the odd one out? Same way, odd one out words. Words are given, which is the odd one out word which is there. Odd one of group of letters. Now words are different group of letters. Words have meanings in it. Your group of letters are given. You have to find which is the odd one out. So you have to find a relation between the letters here. So H plus 1 is I, U plus 1 is X, C plus 1 is D, M plus 1 is N, G plus 1 is H. So I, then I can see I and R. Okay, V, W, X. So -2. So find a relationship D, E, F plus 2 and so on. And then you get the answer. I mean, I'm not saying this is the exact series of letters, but something like this is the answer. 2 questions in linear position, like A is 5th to the left and B is 3rd to the right. There are 5 people in between. How many people are there in a row? That's one question. They're similar. I mean, 5th to the left, 3rd to the right in a row. Those type of questions. Then letter series was given what is next. Number series was given what is the next number in the series. Word analogies. This is simple. A is called B, B is called C, C is called D, then what is the color of the sky? So probably that. So you get 2 questions on that. Simple logical reasoning question, not difficult at all. One on calendar, something on 3rd December is, so what will be 3rd January of the next year? Then one max-based equation, you have to form an equation and go about it. 70 legs of some men and horses which are there. Equal number of men and horses. Some men were on the horses or half the number of men were on the horses. Total 70 legs. So how many horses were there? I mean, you could actually directly make out multiple of 7, 14 and you could mark the answer without calculations. And then one questions, 1 or 2 on number series. Okay, which is the 3rd number from the left or which is the 4th number, and how many 8s are there whose next number and the preceding number and the succeeding numbers are divisible by 8. Those questions. And number that is added to itself 13 times gives 112. So this is a logical reasoning question sort of. I've given you a breakup of all the type of logical reasoning questions that came in the exam. I think nothing outside this would come, like verbal reasoning and all would not come in the exam. So input output was not there. So what was not there may not come in it. I'm not saying will not come, but may not come. You can focus on these type of questions and prepare accordingly. Abstract. I mean, next in the series is very clear. There are 5 figures given. What's the next in the series? Odd one out. 5 questions given. Which one is the odd figure out? Water mirror image. So that means you're given a figure. Which one of the following figures are water image? Figure embedded. You can look at a diagram. Suppose this is the figure given out here. In which of the option figures this figure you can see? Okay. Similar relation to a given pair. One pair of relations given. Which of the given pair have a similar relationship? Right? Sort of like that. Analogy. First related to second. So 3rd related to 4th. Which is this figure? And last, fourth big figure pattern is given. You're given some pattern here, some pattern here, some pattern here. You have to find what will come out here to fill the pattern. So these were the questions that came. Not completely easy, but solvable. I mean, could be solved as such. So So, but I would prefer solving logical and verbal first because they were comparatively faster as compared to abstract and verbal. Fill in the blanks doesn't take time. A simple one-line blank which is there you could easily solve. Synonym antonyms. 5 of these were like they were highlighted word was given. You have to find the meaning or opposite of that word in a sentence. And 5 was direct synonyms antonyms. 5 questions on errors in parts. So which are the parts and errors? That was 5 questions. 5 question proverbs are given. So please go to idioms and proverbs before you go for the exam. 10 question, what is the one word for or replace with a suitable word? When sentence is given, you have to find a suitable word for it. 5 questions on RCs, 5 questions on 2 RCs, so total 10 questions were there in the exam. Right? This is the verbal section. At least these 40 questions could have been solved fast. 10 question RCs depending on your pace. Last one. There were 2 sets of DI, not tough, could be solved. Just be careful if you're not good at calculation, you could keep it for later. 2 questions on clock. How many right angles? The hands of the clock forms right angles how many times in a day? Then ratios, 4 questions on ratios, 3 questions on profit and loss, 2 questions on which of the following numbers are divisible by 3. And then they're given some number like 365, 365. Divisible by which number? You had 7, 11, 13, 19, and 7, 11, and 13. That's the answer, 7, 11, 13. It is actually, this is 365 into 1001. And 1001 is divisible by 7, 11, 13. And 4 questions on calculations, simple calculation. You could just do last 2 digits and get the answer. I mean, that was very simple on that. Time space distance, 3 questions on that, one of which was on boats. 2 questions probability, 1 question permutation combination, 5 questions simple equation. You have to form simple equation and get the answer. 1 percentage, 2 interest, 1 compound interest, 1 simple interest. Today, time consuming compound interest one was, you could have left it as such. 2 questions of work, one of which was pipes. 3 questions on averages, 1 question allegation was simple. If you knew allegation, you could immediately solve it. It was cost is 60, cost is 65, and you are selling an item at 68.2 with 10% profit. So you have to do 68.2, remove 10%, that is 1.1, you get 62, and then do allegation 60, 65 to get 62, you will get the answer 3:2, the ratio, that's the answer. 3 questions on wrong term in the series. So series of numbers given, you have to find wrong term. This could take time, so need to skip it maybe in the first round. 2 questions on HCF LCM, specifically what is the LCM of the numbers given? That was simple. And ratio of 3 numbers given, LCM is given, what is the HCF? Right? So these are type of questions that came in. So if you know this pattern of questions, I've just given a list of questions that came in. You could understand the type of question that came in and then go through it. We'll come up with more videos that will help you with regards to CET. But right now, look at these type of questions and try to understand the pattern. But as I said, if I were to solve a paper again, I would focus on solving verbals and the logic first, whatever easy question first, and leaving out the time wasters, and then focusing on the other 2 sections. Yeah. All the best for your exam. We'll come up with more videos that will help.